Get your facts straight on the Sunday papers. Get your facts straight with Mike Gibbons. Get your facts straight on the Sunday papers. Get your facts straight with Fitzsimmons. Get your fucking facts straight. Get your facts straight.
Read all about it.
Don't say that.
We are doing Sunday Papers live from a summer camp. It is Mike Gibbons and I.
Yeah.
Mike, welcome.
Thank you. This is the first time during COVID that we've been across the table from each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at this setup right here. There's Mike. Here's me. And look at our background. We're looking at sailboats on the horizon.
It looks like Hawaii out there.
And we got this is where we eat.
So for the listeners, we're just moving our laptops around. It's the most unprofessional thing you've ever seen, so you're really not missing anything.
We're in Catalina Island, and here's the situation. This is a summer camp that normally has about 200 kids at it, and instead we've got about 50 people that are all in families. We each have our own cabins.
Yeah.
Our kids are here together. Our wives, some friends, Rabi. Who else do we know here?
What do we got? Frank is out here. We were just talking to him.
You got to talk into your mic. It works better.
Me? Is that what I'm not good on islands. Yeah, we try to get more people out here. We try to get Gibbons out here. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I came out a night early. We had a fun night. Took some mushrooms.
Yep. Didn't really feel them. I think the hike killed it.
Yeah, we took, because Mike is an A-type annoying guy. Like, I go on vacation, I want to chill. Mike cannot sit still.
That's totally ridiculous. I can.
So he made me go on this hike that was about 6 miles long, straight uphill.
All right.
How many miles was it?
A mile? I mean, at most, honestly. But it was steep.
It was very steep.
Up to see sunset.
But more than that, it destroyed the psilocybin that was pouring through our systems.
I think it did. It was very...
it put me in a good mood, and I was a little giggly.
We felt good.
I felt good.
But we didn't make any life decisions.
I didn't take a giant step back from my life and have
Right.
epiphanies.
Yeah. It was a good look. But it's gorgeous here. Oh, my God. I've never been to Two Harbors.
Yeah, if you get a chance to come to Catalina Island, it's rugged. It's not for the weak of heart. There's bison. The foxes come into your cabin.
Tell them about what did the foxes take of yours?
They took some chips and caramels.
Caramels? Caramels? I think even the foxes know it's caramels.
How do you pronounce the town where your father has a house?
All right, that's in New York,
and it's called?
It's called Carmel.
Right.
And then in California, it's Carmel.
Yeah.
But that's not the candy. Caramel.
When you lived in New York, you said caramel. I guarantee
How
it.
do you put that word before macchiato? What would you say?
Caramel macchiato.
You nailed it. You just nailed it, pal. I had you cornered. You nailed it.
Checkmate. So anyway, we didn't want to miss it. You guys have to understand and respect that we did not take a week off from Sunday. Our families are out kayaking right now.
I
They're
don't
playing
think they're
ping pong.
This. I'd wait till we finish and see what we got.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
We read the news this morning and we're shocked by all of it. We've been out of the news cycle.
Yeah, which was a good week to be out of the news cycle.
Yeah.
And we also are. This camp is filled with Republicans. And there's a lot of Trump lovers.
Turns out boaters are they don't want much change.
No, they don't want much change, and they feel that right now the white man is really being held back. Yeah. Which he is, but he kind of ran stuff from ever until 2 years ago. So
it was a good run. It was a very good run.
We kicked ass.
Yeah.
Got a lot done. There was damage done.
This is the thing. My favorite thing about Catalina and during these times is seeing people on yachts complain.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's a lot of that.
That doesn't happen in many places or in many other eras. It's pretty unique
Right.
that you can really be angry and complain on your yacht is special.
Yeah, you really can't be bitching during a song by Steely Dan. Hey, 19.
Yeah.
You know, they're taking all the jobs.
Fucking blew out a flip-flop. Just angrily
There's-
sing Jimmy Buffett.
There's a guy here who has a guitar and he plays. There's a fire every night, and he plays and
Campfire.
he plays. He played "Knocking on Heaven's Door," and I look at Mike like, "This is fucking good." Sitting around a campfire, little Dylan. He's putting a little twist on it. It's nice, making it his own. Stop down. He goes, "How about some Bon Jovi?" And I'm like, "Check." I think
Check,
I'm
please.
going a nighttime hike.
That guitar burns, doesn't it?
And there's a camp. We're in the cafeteria area, and there's a bunch of cabins. And there was a British guy, and all you heard him say to his kid was, "This is this morning. You don't need your headlamp. You don't need your headlamp." Cut to like 5 minutes later. I'm going to kill you.
And all right, so I didn't tell you, I saved it, but so I told you that two girls got up the night before you got here at the campfire, and I don't know who they are and what family they're with or whatever. Anyway, they got up and they're like, "We're gonna tell a scary story," and it was this. Well, you saw them. What are they? You think they're like 12 and then like 8,
Even younger,
maybe 7.
like 10 and 7.
Yeah, maybe 10 and 7. So the 10-year-old, it's all her show, and the 7-year-old is really just trying to keep up. So I guess it was kind of like an improv story. So they were like, okay, this is a story about a man, and he's out on the sea. He's in the ocean, and then he gets stung by a stingray. And she hands it over to the 7-year-old, and it's like, and the 7-year-old like panics a little, but is trying to keep up. And she's like, and then he swims to shore, but he gets eaten by a shark. And the 10-year-old looks over like, thanks for the handoff. Swear to God, this happened. Kind of looks like, thanks. What happened to yes and like, okay. And then he gets spit up by the shark. And he makes it to shore, and he gets up on shore, and he starts going in his mountains. Swear to God, this happened. And he's trying to climb in the mountains, and the 7-year-old goes, and then his mommy died. I'm not kidding. So it's because you have to put yourself in her shoes. How do you beat shark attack? It would be your mommy dying.
Yeah, well, it's every Disney movie. They've seen Disney movies.
Right.
Mom dies, Act 1.
But the 10-year-old's like, huh? How does this even? What am I supposed to do with that?
You're killing off all the
And
characters.
by the
here.
way, all the parents around the campfire there were like just like very encouraging looks, and
Yeah.
I'm like, bah! It was the greatest thing ever. Oh, I'm like, run with it. Yeah, those are the terms. The mom's now dead.
Yeah,
Come on, build on that.
right.
Storyteller.
That's what happens when you give them too many s'mores before story time. Kids all jacked up on marshmallows.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
All right, so we
Do we have news?
we're working off a Google Doc now. Which is
This
kind of
will go
exciting.
Well. This will go well.
What are you talking about? And by the way, we're not looking at the camera. Sorry about that. We're looking at each other. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, it's a
Who
little
wouldn't
weird,
want to look at
right?
this guy?
All right, I'm going to look in the camera more, right down the barrel.
Yeah, there you go.
Podcasters, hardly anyone, don't watch us on YouTube. Should I say that?
No.
Oh, sorry. Watch
No,
us
we look good on YouTube.
Oh, not now. Not this.
I don't even have our script
All right.
pulled up. Hold on. Let me pull
I
up
do.
the script.
We forgot already to talk about the opening song.
Well, yeah, the opening song was fantastic. It was from, hold on.
Andy McVeigh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Andy McVeigh. Nice work. And this week's logo, which is very cool.
Go Get Design.
Yep. Go Det. Godett design.
No, it's not going to be that. You have a G there. I'm just reading what you wrote.
Hmm.
Goget. 2 T's and a design.
Huh.
Go Get Design.
All right. There we go.
Go Get Design.
All right. And then
Goj design.
And also this week, big breakthrough. We've been doing this podcast 6 months.
Oh my God.
Income free, and we put it out to you guys. We said, hey, let's support the podcast by using user ads, your companies.
Was that our plan, or is that our reaction?
That was our reaction.
I like it. It's a good plan, though.
It's a good plan,
Plan or
and
react.
so we have our first ads. We put it out to you guys a couple weeks ago. We have 3 ads today, and the first one is for. We wanted this to be our first ad because it's really kind of badass. It's a.
There we go. We just got a Baba Booey. Funny camp dad.
Hey now.
Yep.
And so the band is called the Miracle Whips, and they're just a fucking I listened to it this week, and then I played it for Mike this morning.
So this is a band advertising on our show.
Their album
That's
is called
kinda
The
cool.
Art of Facts. It's Paul Dillon, Jason Merritt, and Jeff Merkel, and they are from other bands: Miracle Falls, Whip,
Sure, it's on Mercel.
Jeff Mercel or Merkel. Maybe it's Mercel.
We have it covered both ways, Jeff. We got you, Jeff.
Limited edition, 180-gram vinyl. It's out on Devil Duck Records. You can follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Miracle Whips Band, and then on Twitter, Miracle_Whips.
We listened to him today.
Yeah, on Spotify.
It was great.
It's great. It's
I really
like,
liked it. It was a very cool vibe.
it's got like an indie singer-songwriter kind of folk. They got reviewed by... God, I forgot to write down where, but the lead track, Book of Matches, which we're going to play at the end. If you want to listen to the end of the podcast, we're going to go out on Book of Matches, which is the title track of their album. And it was called, by this reviewer, features some of the best lyrics so far in 2020. They're produced in Portland, Oregon. Nice, warm, organic sound. A lot of food for thought.
Do they use all those active moms as their backup singers? That would have been a cool trick up in Portland.
Guy goes on to say, if you enjoy the more peculiar mindset of material recorded by Bowie, Leonard Cohen, early in their careers, there's a good chance you'll find a lot to chomp on here. Top pick. Once again, go to Spotify and check out
Go listen.
Miracle Whips, The Art of Facts.
They paid us a little money for this ad. It would be nice if they got an uptick in listeners.
That's right. Support them. Support our advertisers, because that way we can keep this podcast going, pay our editors, pay our producers. Who else do we pay? We got websites.
We don't pay ourselves. We know that.
All right. Our
Maybe
our
we can
wives make us very
stem
aware
the
of that.
losses. We can stem the losses.
Let's start with corrections, as we do every week. Art is Great pointed out to us that the Senators are the baseball team and defending World Series champions. Yeah. Washington basketball team, usually referred to as the Wizards.
So I guess that was me pointing out that they used to be called the basketball team, the Washington Bullets.
Right.
And then they got a little woke. Boy, yeah, that's 2 teams in Washington. So they changed it to, I think I had said, the Senators maybe.
Are the Trailblazers
by
gonna,
accident, and it's the Wizards.
Are the Trailblazers going to change their name to the Fires?
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. The Riots.
The Riots?
By the way, not a bad name.
El-
There are teams. There's something Riot, right? There's a team, I think.
Probably Vegas.
You think?
Vegas has a new hockey team. What are they called? The Golden somethings.
And they won, by the way, the Stanley Cup.
They were in the finals. I don't think they
no,
won.
you're right. Their first year, I think.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
year. Was there another team that in the first year made it to the finals of something?
Was there?
Was
Oh,
it
boy.
Miami?
We're lining up our
No.
corrections.
Corrections are coming.
No, it was pretty quick, though, because I remember Back to the Future predicted that Florida had a hockey team or something like that. Yeah. And that's is it the Panthers?
Florida Panthers. Yeah,
right.
that's right.
We got it. We nailed all of this, man.
Also, Elvis Muerto says Oliver's Army and Oliver North. That I referenced during one of my favorite artists and one of my favorite songs by him, Oliver's Army, I thought was about Oliver North. Apparently, it's Oliver Cromwell, as Gibbons pointed out.
Yeah, he particularly hated the Irish, among other things.
Yeah, Cromwell in the 11th century invaded Ireland and just decimated everybody.
Definitely not the 11th century. I'm going to put it in the 1600s.
How much you want to bet?
I'll bet you a correction. I'll bet you, what are we going to bet? How about you never gave me my hat, which was made out of fishing line, which you also got a correction on that.
Final correction of the day is from, I have it in the script for next week.
Oh, really?
We're 2 weeks ahead. We're 2 weeks ahead on our script.
So give me that hat.
Which isn't good on a news show.
Cromwell was in the 1600s.
It's Burrio. They make the hats for Patagonia, and it's a friend of mine, and I fucked up his plug.
Should we mention how tired we are and what this
We
fucking
sound
camp?
it, don't we?
You know what? We'll tell them what's going on.
Well, here's the thing: is this camp is lovely, and they treat you great, but it's a fucking summer camp. It's not Hollywood. You can't order a caramel macchiato when you want it, and so. But all I want is after lunch a cup of coffee
with a little swirl of caramel in it.
I've asked them 3 times if they'll put out coffee at lunch, and they won't do it.
No, there's coffee one time a day in the morning, and there's then a pot next to it that you plug in with hot water. Fine. So we know, all right, fine, you're not going to make coffee again, even after dinner, whatever. That's fine. But when you ask them, like we brought powdered coffee. We'd like a coffee in the afternoon maybe. And, your wife drinks tea. And we're like, hey, what about just the hot water? They don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
Just fill that
Plug it
thing
in.
and plug it in.
That's it.
Nope.
Nope.
Active no. Like, no, there will be no hot water the rest of the day. Like, that's
like
a
we're
weird
campers.
stance.
Like we're 7-year-old
Yeah.
campers. Yeah.
No, sorry,
Yeah.
you missed it.
Yeah. So
And the breakfast bell rings at 7:45 in the morning.
that's a rough one.
And that's the only time you can get hot water.
Yep.
Except the showers, which are crazy hot, and you can't adjust the temperature.
And you can't stand under them. You have to literally put a body
have to
part in
pull a
for
rope.
half a second and rinse it and then get the hell out of that water.
And normally it would be, because it's freezing, you would
Yeah,
do that.
right.
But no, it's the opposite.
And we went on a panty raid the other night, and let me tell you something. These panties are not as sexy as you would think. These are older women.
Right. Well, it was that or a diaper raid, which sounded worse. All right.
All right. So, okay, a couple more ads here. The Chug. These are guys, the co-host Jeremy, who is an avid home brewer and beer guy, and Brian, who apparently knows nothing about beer, but he loves it. So I guess he's the alcoholic in the group. And the Chug, and they're great together. They got great chemistry. I listened to one episode, and I'm going to continue on. So basically, they bring 3 beers to share with you, and an entertainer to drink and tell beer stories. At the end, they score one of the beers in the most meaningless way possible. Chug it. Every empty glass equals 1 point. So there's performances, games. It's funny. It's just a funny show. Full episodes and extra shorts that vary from deep dives on particular brew styles to reviewing beer and cereal. The Chug takes the stuck upside of craft beer and kicks it right out of the fucking bar. If there's anything else you need to know, just go to their website, go to their youtube.com/The Chug Show. That's how you're going to watch it on YouTube. I only watched it on YouTube. I don't know if they put it out as a podcast as well.
All right, so they're
But
on
in
YouTube. All
they're on
right,
YouTube.
the
Check
Chug
that
Show.
out. California Sun is another sponsor. They are California
Wow.
News
Well, look at us front loading. All right.
Roundup, written by Mike McFate, a former California correspondent for the New York Times. I signed up for this particular. If you're in California, obviously it's a no-brainer. You're going to get the most important stories curated by a guy who's a New York Times
I'll read this.
correspondent. Every day he surveys more than 80 news and social media sites, sends you the summaries. The newsletter is a must-read for journalists, policymakers, news junkies. Get it for free. Just Google's California Sun and the sign-up page should be the top hit.
I like that. All right. And maybe we could become more informed when we do our version of the news.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe we should do a California section
Well,
since we live here.
it looks like on the Google Doc,
yeah.
this first story is a California story.
From his letter, we pulled this. Mike, why don't you read it?
Well, in July, roughly 44% of California adults reported symptoms of clinical anxiety or depression, a stunning figure that rose through the summer. By comparison, just 11% of American adults reported those symptoms in a similar survey conducted in early 2019. And then this quote here, the pandemic is the first wave of this tsunami, and the second and third waves are really going to be this behavioral health piece. What's this? And the third waves are really going to be this. Did you copy this right?
I don't know. But 44% of people that they called are depressed. And of course, the other 56% just not answering their phones.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a high number.
Yeah.
But, all right, so what is it? Clinical anxiety or depression? I wonder what clinical anxiety is. What level?
Clinical probably means you have
to
trouble leaving the
medicate?
house. I don't know.
There's probably some threshold.
Are you more depressed since the pandemic?
I don't think so. I don't want to throw that word around because people are really disabled by it. If that's probably not even the right word, but really laid low in a very serious way, and I'm not. So I think more people are down. I was very lucky. The front of my year, my year was like front loaded with my income. So that, because of this project. So I can't forget what a peace of mind that has afforded me, because I haven't hit panic mode yet, which a lot of people are. And I get that. And mine's not that far behind. Like this September rent, this is going to be a shit show.
Mm.
Like, all these cities are asking for rent strikes and everything.
Well, they had a moratorium on demanding rent for the first 2 or 3 months of the pandemic, and now that's come up. That's over. So people are, I had a friend who showed me some pictures of a street in LA the first week of, I think it was July, or was it August? I think it was August, because I think August 1st was when these regulations and there was U-Hauls up and down the street.
Yeah, no, I saw a clip on that also. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's a fun story. That's the kind of fun stories you can get when you go to California Sun.
Wow. 44%, that's a lot.
How about some pictures of chicks at the beach? Huh? California Sun?
Page 6? Do they have a page 6 with the page 6 girl?
Yeah, Mike
Page 3
McFate.
girl,
Why don't you look
whatever
at a British newspaper, all the news you need to read, and a topless chick on page. No. Oh, you're talking about page 6 on the New York Post.
New York Post. So it's a page 3 girl?
Page 3 girl, I
That's
think, on
what
the
it
Sun.
is, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We also we track. You guys had some trips on mushrooms, so we've asked you to write in with your trips. Of course, we thought we'd have this great story about shooting chickens with bows and arrows and dancing in a fire, and all we have is we did a funny run on Family Ties.
Pretty sunset. That's what we got.
We kissed. That was the first.
All right, we can edit that out.
This one comes from, let me tell you this. Dear Greg and Mike, let me preface this by saying, please do not use my name
You were about
in
to.
bold.
This one comes from, let's see. There we go.
Mark. I am the dean of a religious school, and this probably wouldn't go over well. In college, my friends and I decided to take a trip. We ate the fungi and waited. The movie Wild West was on TV, and 45 minutes in, I was certain that Will Smith, just called the greatest actor in America by a guy here at the camp, was the greatest actor I've ever seen. Maybe this guy was on mushrooms.
Exactly.
The drugs were kicking
Wild
in.
Wild West, right.
2 of my friends spotted a blinking red light in the distance from our dorms. The light was, in fact, real. It was a small airport near campus. Cell phones were primitive. Navigation on our phones was new to us. And to add to the technological frustration, we were officially tripping balls. My roommate, and this guy runs a religious... My roommate and I wanted to finish the movie, but 2 of my friends were determined to walk to the blinking red light.
How could they leave Wild Wild West while shrooming to go on an adventure?
I know.
How could they tear themselves away?
The movie was made for a mushroom trip. They departed by 7 p.m. By 9 p.m., we wondered about them, called them. They answered incoherent. Turns out the airport was not 7.5 minutes away, as their phone had told them, but 7.5 miles away.
Yeah.
Proud to say they actually made it there. I'm prouder to say my roommate and I went to Hooters. He got a blowjob from the Hooters bartender in our dorm's laundry room after her late shift was over.
See, if you stopped watching Wild Wild West, who knows what
That's
could
right.
happen that night?
Yeah. The next morning, I got a call to pick up my friends on the side of the road. They were 8.2 miles away. One of them was drying off from clearly being submerged in water at some point during the night. The other one had no shirt on.
This is the next morning.
John Davidson. Oh, shit. From St. Michael's College.
Right. All right. That's wild.
All right, let's get to the front page. Oh, we don't have a paper to crinkle.
Extra! Extra! Read all about it! Extra!
We got no paper. Let me get a napkin.
Oh, wait, I have a leaf.
All right.
There. I have to get more leaves.
It's the tiniest newspaper ever. We're going back to like the 7th
We're
century.
reading postage stamps. Wait.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a section.
They used to write the news on eucalyptus.
That's perfect.
All right, front page. Oh, do I love this story. Jerry Falwell Jr. He apparently...
Who would have guessed
Who would have guessed?
that the apple didn't fall far from the tree?
Him and his wife, Becky, escalated on Friday morning with the war of words between a former pool attendant. Nothing starts well with that. And Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife, Becky, with an I, escalated on Friday morning as Giancarlo Granda claimed on Good Morning America that Falwell, quote, enjoyed watching him have sex with the former Liberty University president's wife. He was aware from day one of our relationship, and he did, in fact, watch. Granda contends that in the spring of 2012, Becky Falwell began to flirt with him at the Miami hotel where he worked, invited him to a hotel room for sex, telling him her husband liked to watch. He said he soon met Falwell, a leading voice in Christian conservative politics. Jerry was laying on the bed. He was drunk, and he was giggling, as I am right now.
Perfect. Sounds spiritual.
Granda said the two men awkwardly discussed the parameters of the impending sexual encounter. He insisted that during the first encounter, he reassured Falwell that if the older man became uncomfortable, he would leave. Hey, he told Falwell anxiously, if at any point you get jealous or you want me to back off, just let me know and I'll walk out of here.
What a gentleman.
Falwell reassured him, urging him to, quote, go for it.
All right.
So they went for it many times over the course of a year or two.
So what is the psychological makeup of a cuck, right? That's what this guy would be?
He is a self-cuck. He has cucked himself.
A lot do, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah, a lot do. A lot. It's there. I think like when you see whatever, all these videos on the porn sites, the husband's like orchestrating and filming this thing.
Yeah.
I guess I assumed a lot do. But so what's the psychological makeup of that guy? He feels inadequate and he wants to be shamed?
Why do you go negative? What if Jerry Falwell Jr. really is, as a man of God, trying to follow in Jesus' footsteps? And think about it. Joseph and Mary had a three-way with God.
Yeah, except Mary. Someone didn't go for it with Mary, apparently.
God did. Joseph was
She's
a
a virgin. How dare you? She's a virgin. Still, even after the three-way. Is this a Christian camp? Here comes my daughter.
As your daughter walks
Stay out of here, daughter.
Get out of here.
Where are you going?
She got on a face mask. That's good.
You go around that way. We're talking about the worst stuff.
We're talking about Jesus.
Yeah. That's
no. I mean, look, there was nothing in the Bible that said anything about not having three ways. But also
shut up, Olivia.
But also, there were no pool boys back then. There was no pools when God was around.
Right. It was like a sea boy.
Yeah.
You know, he would part the sea, maybe. I don't know. This is such a weird story, but listen, any extreme behavior, like being like this, like crazy religious in a public way, usually it's a sign you're compensating.
Yes, especially when you grow up forced to be around that.
And then his dad did it, right? His dad hired prostitutes. For anyone watching, I'm trying to pick up another leaf. All right, hold on.
That means
here.
you want to change stories.
Who me?
Okay.
No, not really. But I like the Falwells.
Yeah. He didn't
Here we
fall. He didn't fall well at all. He fell badly.
He fell worse.
First, I'm sure I'm the
Fell
first one to
worst.
make that joke.
I'm sure. Well, I think a lot of people thought of it and were like, nah.
That's why I decided to do it. Someone's
Yeah,
got to do it.
Someone's got to do it.
Next story is about a. Here we go. Hurricane Laura hit Louisiana this week as a Category 4 storm. 150-mile-an-hour winds.
Brutal.
Strongest storm to hit the state since 1856, when you had the famous Hurricane Karen. That one blew 500-mile-an-hour winds.
She hit landfall and immediately started asking for a manager.
It hit landfall
Yeah.
at a Walmart in Louisiana.
No, I will not wear a mask. I have respiratory issues. And where's your manager? It's not the law. You're a hurricane.
Yeah, you're coughing on everybody, Hurricane Karen.
All Karens are hurricanes at this point.
I feel so bad for Karens. I'm friends with 2 Karens, and they're both
I know.
very upset about this.
And it's so appropriate because Karens spin out. So it's perfect. In the eye of every storm.
Right. As Attell had a joke about how hurricanes, they leave you naked and broke in your driveway. Hurricanes are like divorce. At the end of it, you're naked. You're naked and broke in your driveway.
That's funny. Well, when it landed in Texas, right, and Louisiana.
What am I going to read the whole story?
I don't know, but one thing it didn't blow off were masks. Is it too soon to By the way, I'm not laughing at them at all. We're really a bit lightheaded and very fatigued right now.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's get. How many people died? I think 14. 14 people died. Which is
That's
very
probably
sad.
an old number now.
And
We'll see.
some of it was from carbon monoxide poisoning at a pool hall in Port Arthur, Texas.
Oh, no.
I got to think a pool hall in Port Arthur, Texas. They got to be used to gas.
I am wondering if the poor people were, the victims were, like, that was a shelter. In other words, like a gym that was set up.
A pool hall?
Maybe just because it's big and maybe they went there to seek shelter. And that would be such a tragedy then that they die. It probably disconnected the gas pipe.
Yeah.
I'm putting a story together here. And then their moms died. I just upped it.
Oh,
All
you're
right.
doing the camp.
Yeah, I'm doing the camp
that's
story.
fine. All right.
Wow. All right. I'm waking up.
All right, let's get to your story, Mike. You were very excited about this one.
Which one?
The divorce rate.
Oh, yeah. So the divorce rate in America, headline here, soared by 34% during the pandemic.
Man.
With marriages crumbling 3 weeks into quarantine and newlywed separations doubling to 20%. I didn't know newlywed separations were hovering at 10%. And one little factoid in this article, southern states in the Bible Belt recorded the highest number of divorce rates per the legal templates. So,
Wow.
yeah, the Bible Belt not keeping their vows. We got maybe it's Falwell. Maybe he's disrupting so many marriages. Was the pool guy married? I wonder. He couldn't have been.
He was only 20 when this affair happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the Falwells were like in their fucking late 50s,
Oh,
which
my
is
God.
just physically repulsive, even though I imagine it all the time and I'm 54.
They must have offered him money, right? She must have.
Again, how deep in these stories do you want me to read?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But
But
no,
yeah,
I
so
would think that I would think that COVID would save marriages because you can't see the nasty look that your wife is giving you half the time
because the mask.
because of the mask.
I don't know, man. Being cooped up, I think you realize. I don't know. It gets tense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that you're not getting any time apart, and you've got if you've got kids around all the time, you realize that like you wanted a family. You didn't want all of a family. You wanted like 60% of a
Yeah.
family.
Well, drinking has shot up, and why do you think? It's avoidance. You're anesthetizing.
Well, in California, the essential stores were gas stations, food stores, and the marijuana dispensaries they kept open.
Right. Marijuana, liquor, divorce attorneys. Those are the only three things open at one point.
Jesus.
Handguns, also those.
I'm glad I never got divorced, man. You got to pay so much money to lawyers. Telling you, right?
Yeah. All right, next story, Nevada man.
Oh, boy. Kind of like Florida man, isn't it?
I did. By the way, Nevada man should be a new Twitter thing.
Yeah.
I bet there's tons of those. Nevada man becomes the first in the U.S. to catch COVID-19 twice.
Oh, boy.
The 25-year-old man of Reno experienced a sore throat, cough, headache, nausea, and diarrhea, also known as being in Reno. Like, when I read this, I was like, how did he know? Wait, why did he even report himself? I've been to Reno twice. That's how I felt both times.
Yeah. Hey, guy, excuse me, doctor. Yeah, I've got explosive diarrhea. I'm bleeding from my eyes. Profound sadness. Yeah. Welcome to Reno.
Oh, the buffet, Golden Nugget. You did that. Okay. You're
Golden
a newbie.
Nugget. No, remember we went to Lake Tahoe and we were going to go into Reno because you told us there was a sushi buffet at a strip club that actually had great ratings online.
No, wait a minute.
Yes.
But we weren't going to make a special trip there,
Yes, we were.
were we?
No, we were going to fly in and go there before we went up the
Yes,
mountain.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that got shot down.
Maybe we would have experienced at least 6 of these symptoms.
Yeah.
So he first tested positive for COVID-19 on April 18th, and then his symptoms had resolved by the 27th of April. He tested negative for the virus twice in May. Then on May 31st, he sought treatment again for feeling like he lived in Reno, same symptoms, adding dizziness and fever to this one, and he tested positive for the virus. And this is sending a lot of speculation. This is causing a lot of speculation and concern about herd mentality even being possible.
Well, no, now I think they're saying
Herd immunity, not
herd
mentality.
immunity.
Herd mentality
We got
is
it.
very possible.
Very
It's
strong.
It's happening everywhere,
Yeah.
especially in
All right,
Wisconsin.
Enough.
All right.
Mike, every week, Mike, we should have a segment. How many listeners can Mike lose every week?
Why? Who did I?
I thought you were going to say the South again.
No,
You get this thing about the South.
I do have a thing.
Meanwhile, you had a beautiful girlfriend from Texas for a while.
That's true, but it's only when it's defensive. It's only when they start yelling, like, oh, we should leave. That was when I went off on that. I'm like, leave. It wasn't a proactive
So you're going to
thing.
redo the bit.
I wasn't
You're
kicking
going to
them
redo
out.
the bit.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is it's usually they ask for it. There is a Southern pride thing.
Yeah.
You can't check me on that. That exists.
Mike, South's going to do it again.
All right, let's turn.
What did they do the first time?
What do you mean?
They always say South's going to do it again, but I don't understand what they did.
Lose.
They're going to lose again?
Yeah, they say rise. What do you mean rise? You mean rise right to the level of a giant L? It's ridiculous.
I'm going to give you Mike's personal email to writing because I don't want to deal with them.
The South will rise again. Okay. It wasn't a very high watermark. We're okay. Go ahead. You know what? Go rise again.
Next section, international
Hold
news.
on. Here we go. Hold on.
In Japan.
I love my Southern smart people. I love them, though, and they know who they are, and they know they have trouble.
Oh, and you're smart just because you're from New York?
No.
And Hollywood?
I'm dumb because I live in Los Angeles. That's how you know I'm dumb.
In Japan, a ninja museum had some stealthy visitors this week. Thieves who broke in and stole more than 1 million yen, which is $909,000, in the middle of the night. When police arrived, they found the museum entrance had been forced open, and the safe containing the money was missing. It weighed 330 pounds. The museum's security cameras showed a car pulling up to the building on the night of the robbery and a man climbing out of the passenger seat. He walked towards the camera and tilted it down. so it would only film the ground for the rest of the night. So it sounds like an inside job. That's some straight up ninja shit right there.
All right.
We walked up stealthily, turned the camera down. That's it. Then he robbed the place.
I'm surprised we even saw him. Aren't they supposed to be so
right.
secretive and sneaky? Why? What happened? The sign didn't work? Like, beware, ninjas on duty?
Yeah.
This place is protected by ninjas?
Yeah.
And
meanwhile,
you should just have that sign. You can't prove they're there.
Right. And also, it's easier to rob as a ninja because everyone's dressed as a ninja anyway. I'm dressed like a ninja right now.
You look exactly like a ninja. Yeah.
All right, should we go to entertainment?
Wow, all right. So
I
they
thought I had
robbed the
another
ninja
international
place. I like
story,
it.
but we only had one.
What, international?
No, let's do, yeah. Just had one story.
Entertainment.
Okay.
Hooray for Hub. There you go. Cue the song. And we're back. Brad Pitt's new girlfriend. Here's the report. Brad Pitt's new girlfriend is in an open marriage.
She found that out when she walked in on Brad and 3 women.
But I always wonder on these, like, does the husband view it as an open marriage?
Right.
I think a lot of women who have been with Brad Pitt claim to be in open marriages. Brad, 56, met Nicole, 27. That's some good math. In August 2019 at a Berlin restaurant, which is owned by her husband, this restaurateur who's 68.
Ronald Mary.
Roland. So,
and
boy,
Mary.
she really wanted a younger man and went to the mid-50s, with whom she shares a young son, though, with this guy.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I interrupted my sentence. But Brad was introduced to Roland's wife, Nicole, and she passed him her number. Nicole travels a lot for work as a fashion model, and she connected with Brad while in Los Angeles for work. A friend of the model told Mail Online. Roland told Mail Online, quote, "No comment," when contacted by the outlet. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
The Outlook one. Yeah, the Mail Online wanted to let her know that he was in an open marriage.
He's like, what? Wait a minute. What's an open marriage? What? So that means, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. Good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news is you're in an open marriage. Good news is it's with Brad Pitt.
Who's watching little Emil, the son, the young son?
Yeah, right. Damn, he's Asian?
Where did you get to that?
Young son?
Oh, I got you. The young son. That's what we should call our news. The young son. Young son news.
I mean, is it worse to have your wife leave you for someone like Brad Pitt? Or is that sort of like, you know, if your wife's going to leave you for another guy, it matters who the guy is.
Right. And I think the more impressive a guy is, the worse it is to a point. Then when they're super impressive, it reflects well on you.
Yes.
I think. Otherwise, it's threatening, and all you think about are your inadequacies and how you don't live up to that guy. But then when it's like someone in the stratosphere, you're like, well,
yeah,
look at that.
I'm like that guy.
And now this guy's Brad Pitt adjacent.
Well, what about Donald Trump Jr.'s wife? She used to be married
also,
to
you're having sex with Brad Pitt because you're having sex with everyone that person had sex with.
Oh, you're assuming she had sex with him again once she fucked Brad Pitt?
I don't know if she's been home yet, but Emil hasn't seen his mom in a long time. But yeah, I assume it's an open marriage. Are you kidding me? And that means that the restaurateur has had sex with a lot of women.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's had sex with everybody Brad Pitt's had sex with.
That's right. It's, Daddy, I want to see Mommy. Okay, hold on. Here's mailonline.com. Here's a picture of her with Brad Pitt. You want to see Mommy again? Go to your room. And usually in entertainment, we talk about what we've seen this week and recommend things to people. I only watched Deadwood, and then we watched Deadwood the movie, which is, you know, it was the same thing with, we were big Downton Abbey fans.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing. They did a movie probably a good, 10 years later. So the
Right.
characters
I
are
never
all
saw
quite
that.
a bit
Yeah,
aged.
yeah.
And it's really just like, and I think Sex and the City did it, and people fucking loved it. Because you're so sad that it's over. And I guess Sopranos is doing one now also.
They are, yeah.
Breaking Bad did one.
Yep.
And so you really don't care how good it is. It's almost like running into an ex and getting to have sex with them again. It's like it may not physically be great sex, but it's going to feel amazing.
Yeah, and they've been with Brad Pitt. So
Well, Brad Pitt should be in each of these remakes.
yeah, that's the thing. So how was the movie?
It was, it was another episode, which is all I wanted. It was a long, long episode. And everybody was older, and there was no huge surprises. They didn't have somebody come back to town and steal somebody's girl. There was all the couples were intact still, and there was progress made. A bad guy came to town, and they thwarted him.
Huh.
It was very much. It was more of a Western than the series was. There was like a real high noon kind of showdown.
Right.
So it wasn't bad.
Next time it occurs to me, we should put, if we're ever together again doing this, we should put our laptops back to back so it looks like eye contact.
Well, do you want to do it now?
Well, I was backlit. That's why I changed
that's
it.
right.
So I was all blown
Yeah.
out, which was probably a better thing. I watched, Netflix has a show on the American parks, and it's not the documentary series. It's a one-off, and it was narrated by Robert Redford, and it was very good. And this legendary climber, I think his name's Conrad Anker. There's also a parallel story where he and his stepson and their friend are driving to a bunch of the parks and doing crazy climbs. And one was in Devil's Tower, and I forget the exact geological terms, but the tower is just these columns of rocks, and in between them, anyway, it's pretty hairy footage. And then there's a national park on the top of Michigan. What's that area
The
called?
Upper Peninsula.
Upper Peninsula, and they go up there and they climb frozen waterfalls.
Unbelievable.
Really, really cool. And then the part on Yellowstone.
So you
was
can
amazing.
go chasing waterfalls.
You can dominate waterfalls. So yeah, anyway, that was really good. Oh, and then I worked on a show, an animated show called Hoops,
Which is great. I love it.
created by Ben Hoffman. It's very, very dirty. It's kind of it's very intentionally juvenile. Anyway, it was ranked. We were shocked. All of a sudden, Netflix ranks their shows now.
Yeah.
And for over a week, it was numbered 3 behind 2 heavyweight shows. I forget what they were, but big shows. But I did go on line and read some of the feedback. By the way, it's very poorly reviewed. They just think it's dirty for dirty's sake.
Well,
And
you
I-
have to remember the environment that reviewers are writing in right now. This show is everything every movement around today is against.
It's intentionally un-PC, and that blew up in our face a little bit. We didn't realize the timing would get this crazy. We worked on it. The last time I reported to work, just so you know how slow animation is, the last time I reported to work was, it's a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
I think a year ago.
Mhm.
I think it was last summer. And then it gets animated and gets notes and just keeps getting animated. I mean, maybe it was into fall. I can't really remember. I think it was fall. Anyway, a long time ago. But here's when I went on Twitter to check out what all the buzz was about Hoops. Here was one I found. I couldn't even get through the first episode of Hoops on Netflix. It was about a failing coach searching for money so he can pay a sex worker to have sex with a minor so then he'll join his basketball team. Netflix, what are you doing? But by the way, that is an exact description of the pilot. No exaggeration.
I think the show just got a lot of viewers.
It's a perfect description of
Yeah.
the pilot, by the way.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, watch it and send us your reviews at fitzdogradio@gmail.com, and also your letters about
Yeah.
anything.
What are we up to now?
We're up to sports.
There are no sports.
No sports. Done with sports.
By the way,
it's not
there- no,
like
there
the
was-
NBA just canceled the game because of the shooting in Wisconsin. It's not like the NFL is starting in 2 weeks. No, there's no sports, Mike.
Well, we
See, we divide up the sections of the paper, and Mike has got sports. So just so you know where this lack of
nope. All right,
content is
fine.
coming
I
from.
promised that guy we'd follow Formula One. Very cool. Lewis Hamilton, who identifies as black. What? It was dad's white. No, his mom's white. His dad's black.
Okay.
But he identified. That's what it says in his bio.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, and he's British, so it's not African American.
Mm-hmm. What do you call that? British black?
British American? We went 0 for 2. We missed the I don't know what. I think black. Right? I don't know. We're not going to get stymied on this. So anyway, this guy is, there's many think he's the best Formula One driver of all time. So he won the race, and as he was coming across the finish line, like he had just gone through it, you still see like that crazy frenetic shaking of the wheel. They had a dash cam on him. He gave a shout out to Chadwick Boseman, who died,
Yeah.
which we're going to talk about in the obituaries. But it was really cool. And he talked about how much like that role meant, like, even to him, that there's this super, he was this first,
Yeah.
black superhero and stuff.
Right.
And anyway, it was a very cool moment. So there's sports. I just did
Yeah.
sports.
Okay. Well
Yeah.
done, Mike.
Sure. Nailed it.
Well,
Wake up.
science. Let's do one science story.
Okay.
Okay. You're saying now that the scientists often worry most about the loss of the world's predators, right?
Well, not human predators that prey on young children, but go ahead.
But a comprehensive new study finds that plant-eating herbivores, or herbivores, depending on where you live, are the animals most at risk of extinction. About 1 in 4 species of herbivores are considered threatened and vulnerable. So instead of polar bears and tigers, think of plant eaters like rhinos and green sea turtles. The last male northern white rhinoceros in the wild died in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. So vegetarians, turns out, first to go.
That's a big ass vegetarian, huh? Some are though. I mean,
It is amazing. Yeah. I mean, aren't elephants?
I think we're here on the
Vegetarians?
island. I think they are. And we're here on the island with bison. There's bison on Catalina that were brought out here for a film, and then they
In like
left,
the 1920s.
and they left them here.
Yeah.
And they've kind of thrived. But they're vegetarian, and oh my God, they're like 1,800 pounds or
Yeah.
something. They're crazy.
Yeah.
But I always think about rhinoceroses, and I'm like, we're gonna be like telling our grandkids or great grandkids, if we're so lucky, they're like, no joke, like those walked the earth while I was alive, because they look prehistoric
Yeah, I know.
with their giant like suit of armor on and stuff.
And
They're
hippos,
amazing.
are the most
Dangerous.
they're the most dangerous animals on the planet.
Nope. There's one more.
Those little foxes here at the camp.
Those foxes are bastards, man.
They keep going into people's
try to
cabins
come
and
in-
eating their shit.
Wait, did you tell the story of the other woman here? at
There's
camp?
a woman here. She was Mexican, and she said,
Yeah. By the way, that's unnecessary detail. Oh, because you're gonna do the accent.
"Yeah, how the hell is going to do the accent?"
I thought you could tell the story without the accent.
And they come
She's here with her husband, and
come
she
into my
complains to
tent.
us. Yeah.
He come into my tent. And so she's saying that she put all her shoes on the top bunk, which I have no fucking idea why.
Because we're sleeping on the bottom bunks. Because
Yeah.
they're like, there's 6 bunk beds per cabin, 12 beds. All right, go ahead.
So they took the top mattresses off all the beds so they can cut down on limiting social distancing. So she says that the fox jumped up on the top bunk and pissed on her slipper, in her slipper.
In her slipper.
And so she had her slippers on her front deck the whole time.
I think it might have been an angry husband move. Really passive aggressive. You talked a little too much at dinner and shared a little too much about my mother, your mother-in-law.
Right.
Piss right in the slipper.
Could be a fetish. Could be one of the campers has a little fetish.
But these foxes, man, there's tons of deer here, and there's no predator.
No
There's
predators.
no natural predator. There's
Nope.
no mountain lion. But I did stumble upon a rattlesnake, and I was shocked. Who the fuck brought those out here?
Right.
Someone did.
You need St. Patrick to come in. He got all the snakes out of Ireland. Did you know that?
That's the legend, right?
It's the legend. All right, let's get to business. What do you got in the business section, Mike? The other section that you're in charge of researching.
Oh, yeah. So that Formula One driver,
You're such an asshole.
he has stickers all
You
over his
suck.
car. And that's business because the Formula One has a lot
Really?
of sponsors.
What is it that you're doing?
Aren't
that's
we
so
doing
important?
a short one? I was kayaking.
All right, let's do a short. All right, let's get to Ask Amy.
I got one. All right, ask Amy. Dear Amy, my wife and I share your column at the breakfast table. Can you settle this for us? Our son claims that he has found the love of his life. They've been going out for over a year, and it is clear he wants to marry her. It seems like since he has made this emotional commitment, perhaps it would be time to meet her parents and family. I wanted to invite them out to our suburb to enjoy a round of golf, the pool, and a fancy dinner at our country club. But my wife didn't think that was a good idea. She claimed it was too soon to, quote, meet the parents. They live in a very upscale area, and I'm supposing that my wife has looked up what they paid for their house, how much fancier their country club is than ours, and is probably afraid that our standard of living won't live up to their standards and will sour their outlook on our son. This is hurtful. Is there an appropriate time for our families to get to know each other in this situation, especially given this perceived difference in financial net worth? Signed, Eager Dad. What do you think, Greg?
Was this letter from the 17th century in England? Is there an Irish person involved who has to like climb up a couple steps socially?
I don't know, but also he's writing essentially to his wife because he knows his wife reads this column. And what did Amy do? Amy facilitated this by printing it.
Yeah. Oh my God. This
And
is
he's
the whitest
assuming-
Dear Amy of all time.
He's assuming his wife has done all this.
Yeah.
You think, I don't know. And he's the one hung up on it. He had a fancy dinner at our country club. Who describes their situation as fancy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
other family should run, not because of the son, but because of the father.
When somebody Zillows your house, that's a deal breaker.
Right.
When we got married, my family belonged to a golf club, and my mother said, I want to have Erin's family come for a dinner as like you always have like a wedding dinner before the wedding.
Yeah.
And so I said,
a fancy one.
I said, I don't know if that's a good idea because they're Jewish, and I don't think this club allows Jewish people in it. And she goes, no, they do. They let Jewish people in. And so I was like, all right, we'll do it. So they come in, and her family's...
Whose club?
Knollwood Country Club.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't say that on the...
Oops.
Bushwood? So they come for the dinner, and her parents are hippies, and so they're like wandering around like they were picking flowers from the gardens. And
Are we talking about Erin's parents?
yeah.
Well, also, no one hates Jews more than her dad.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that.
What do you mean?
He's anti-Zionist. He's not anti-Jewish.
It was a joke, but yeah, he is very
not
critical.
a joke you let stand.
Oh,
You challenge.
He was
it.
kind of critical.
Yeah. His book was called, it had the word fascist in it. Anyway. So anyway, I got there and I see the locker room attendant and I go, hey, Willie, how you doing? He goes, good. I go, so they let Jewish people in here now? He's like, hell no. I'm like, well, they do today. Let's keep that on the down low.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Or sad.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to skip viewer mail this week in interest of getting to the beach with our families that are waiting for us and get right to the Sunday funnies.
I love it.
Okay, we're starting off with Andy Capp.
Does he have a crush on us?
Well, that's the one piece of mail that did stand out.
I was just a lucky guess.
Yeah, there's a woman named Joanne.
What?
Joanne, and she says, I seem to have a crush on you too. Now, when she says that, I always think there's got to be one of us she has more of a crush on than the other.
Joanne?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That would be divisive.
Divide us, Joanne. Write us a letter. Which
Yeah.
one of us do you really have the crush on, and you're being gentle on the other one?
Ooh, I don't know if we want that news.
By the way, if you're going to make art, which they did once again this week, we already plugged the guy. Why is it then when they Photoshop a face into a couple, I'm always the woman?
Maybe it's because your feminine, high-pitched voice.
Let's get to the funnies.
Let's do it.
Andy Capp, as you know, a couple that really communicates well. They've got a very sober-minded, healthy relationship. So in this one, his wife comes into the bar and takes a frying pan and bashes a guy over the head with it. And it looks like there was boiling water in the pan. And she goes, "Oops, you look just like me husband from the back."
Well, is she looking for Andy? Is that
Andy is 3 guys down the bar just watching.
Look at them. They all have the alcoholic noses.
Yeah.
Look at this bird.
Well, there's a woodpecker, and he was going to town on a
That's
fucking.
a crazy
Oh
looking
yeah,
bird
look at
with a
that.
Red,
Black and white.
red
with the
head
red.
and black and white body.
There was a woodpecker going after a fucking telephone pole yesterday. I was like, dude, you're knocking on the wrong door there.
Dude. It's so funny to see this picture of violence underneath, in the funnies.
I know.
It's a cool picture, though. It's
Yeah.
a cool frame. All right, what else we got?
We got Hager. We love him, or call him Hagar. Call him Hager.
Yeah.
Call him funny. Helga is talking to Hager, and there's a wizard-looking kind of guy behind her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, it's her grandfather. She says, "Grandpa wants you to bring him back a 20-year-old bottle of champagne from France." And then Grandpa whispers into Helga's ear, and Helga goes, "And a beautiful 20-year-old barmaid to serve it to him." So, could you grab some wine and abduct a girl who's almost a child, if you could,
Yeah.
for my 80-year-old father?
I'm sure there was a lot of thinking. You know what? The only reason she's 20 is because a less than 20-year-old bottle of champagne isn't that impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really, it was probably like, grab a 14-year-old bottle of champagne. Oh, and also a 14-year-old handmaiden to give him the champagne.
Oh my God. As if that 20-year-old is going to make it back to camp unmolested by the crew. You know? Hey, no, don't rape her. That one's for my father-in-law. He'll kill me if she's already traumatized.
She has to be upbeat enough to first serve him champagne. Then it's all bets are off.
We got a letter about Family Circus from Chris W.
Ooh.
Wanted to let you know that Family Circus artist Bill Keane, a classic, a man we've shown a lot of respect to on the show, is an Arizona treasure. A life-size statue of Bill stands at the McCormick-Stillman Railroad Park in Scottsdale, where Bill is on all fours playing horsey with all the comic strip kids, Billy, Dolly, Jeffy, and PJ. It's very sweet. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Thanks for the great pod. Somebody just offered us coffee.
Is this podcast already out and they heard us?
Maybe they heard us because we're so loud.
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
All right, what else do we want to scream about? Hot water?
A 20-year-old barmaid to serve it to us?
Wait. Maybe it's just if you talk about rape enough, they bring you coffee. Is that how camp works? We haven't been to camp in so long.
Things have changed.
All right, we're whispering at a kid's table, and they're bringing us coffee.
I want a 20-year-old barista.
Yeah. Maybe they're talking. Yeah. We are talking about people going all the way to France to bring back underage girls and perfectly aged champagne. Maybe that cued this.
And here's your daughter.
No.
Get away. We're almost done.
We're almost done.
We got 2 more comic strips to do, and then we're done. All right, speaking of which, let's get to your family circus.
Oh, boy. There's no reason to. I'm so distracted by the incoming. Maybe we're being poisoned. I think that might be it.
Maybe they're listening to the podcast and they're like, these guys are a little low energy today.
Hey, did you erase my family circus?
I feel like I did. It disappeared. No, all of them disappeared.
How about this? I can remember
you
what
can
it
remember
was.
it? Yeah.
It's not in front of me. It's a dumb little circle, of course. It's one panel. Here comes the poison. This is amazing.
Look at that with creamer
All right, wait,
and
put on your
sugars.
mask. Put on your mask.
All right, put on your mask. Mask
Where's
on.
this for? This is so nice.
Oh, I've been dying.
This is so unexpected and wonderful. Oh, my God. What a
All right.
treat.
What's your name?
My name's Holly.
Holly. Thank you, Holly.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you guys were filming. I just
No.
Yeah, we were just taping a podcast,
Thank you.
Very good.
singing the praises of this camp.
Well, that's nice to know.
I think, my friend who you've met, she comes out here and volunteers at a camp for kids.
Right, Camp Del Corazon.
Suzanne.
Right.
She loves you guys. And Tom Arnold comes out here.
Exactly.
It's such a wonder. She tells me about it every year. And then this year, I posted a picture on Instagram and she's like, "You're at my camp."
Yes.
Oh, when is that usually? Is it around now?
Right about now. Exactly.
That's what she said.
Starting right about now and going through Labor Day. So.
Okay.
And this is for children with congenital heart issues.
Exactly. Usually, the staff, most of the staff. Oh, really?
Yeah, sure.
Most of the staff, I believe, are from UCLA
Right.
Medical Center. At least the 2 founding physician and head nurse are.
And what is the charity?
Camp Del Corazon.
It means heart in Spanish, Greg.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very nice. And how do you find the campers that are here this week, our group?
How do we find you? Like, how did we find you, or how do we, enjoy you?
Yeah.
How do we enjoy you? Yes. Well, it's a great energy, and it's nice to have people here at camp. That's why we're here, is because we like to have people around camp, and especially this particular group with all the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
No
yeah.
offense. No offense. We like kids better than adults.
Yeah.
Yes, they are much more simple. Much more simple. They
Well,
don't have,
thank you so much.
Yeah,
and
thanks
thank
for
you
the
for
coffee.
hosting us at the camp.
Oh my God, how nice is this?
And so
Oh.
a shout out, I think, is appropriate to Tom Arnold too, because that guy walks the walk. He is involved in this charity. He comes out here every year.
He's been on my podcast promoting it.
Oh my God, Greg, look at the flavor of creamer I was just handed. No, mine, not yours.
Caramel macchiato.
That is the name.
Wow.
And look at the little pieces of what? What are those pieces of? There's a picture.
Caramel.
Okay, look, you're doing it all correctly now.
All right, I'm taking my mask back off. Sorry about that. But you wait till you hear Blondie, because now we have coffee in us and we're going to accelerate through the finish line.
All right, well, let me do so Family Circus. I remember.
Oh yeah,
because
forgot
it's
about that.
nothing. Well, you and I took a peek at it, and we're like, "What do you even do with that?" It's a backyard. The dad's in a hammock, and he's like, eyes closed, and then the kid's asking his mom, "Mommy, can we nap outside like Daddy today?"
Mm.
So that description sounds like I forgot a key part to why it would be in a section called the funnies. I didn't forget anything. That is verbatim what was there. But that's what a family circus is like. A family circus is like a telephone, that game telephone. So I'm going to whisper in your ear something that's legitimately funny that someone put work into, that had a surprising kind of finish that made you involuntarily chortle. And then I whisper that to someone. And as it goes down the line, it eventually gets to Bill Keane or some Keane. And Keane's like, "What? I didn't hear anything. Let me just shin something on a piece of paper." And there, did we win? Did I keep the telephone message alive? No, you didn't. There's nothing. You heard nothing. It's so far from where it started. It started as a joke that would amuse people. And now what is it? We don't even know, but there's no word to describe it.
And part of the telephone game was some people spoke other languages. So it was translated into French.
Yeah.
That was translated to Arabic and then back to English before it got to Bill Keane.
And it made every culture laugh except the one that wound up in your hands.
Well, the only thing that pulls us out of Family Circus is a little trip.
It's
to
so
our
psychological.
friends.
I feel more awake now just
Yeah,
holding
totally.
a coffee mug.
Yep.
All right. That's a disease.
Dagwood comes into the bedroom. Guess who's in bed? Fucking Blondie.
Wait,
She
there's a mom within 18, 10,
right.
12 feet of you, I'd say.
All right, so I'm going to whisper this. So Blondie has a bedhead. So a little bit of her golden locks that are normally perfectly coiffed are squashed down. She's got a surprised look on her eye. She's turning over sideways. He goes, there are so many good things to eat in the refrigerator. I had to say eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And then he says, I think I'll fix myself a snack. He said, after I'd still eaten mo, I was still hungry, so I said eeny, meeny, miny, mo again. I wonder why I can't sleep at night. Blondie, by the way, is now laying in bed.
All right, she's right there. Right now, she has to be wondering why two adults are at a table at the camp reading comics
Yeah.
digitally.
And why one of them has an erection. So Blondie, who now is, she has her butt pushed against Dagwood. She's presenting, as they'd say in the wild. And he says, I don't know why I can't sleep nights. I'm still hungry as a wolf. Blondie says, go downstairs and fix yourself something more. Here's another idea, Dagwood. Why don't you slide down your boxers and take a stab at that fucking yellow piece of heaven
The
right
mom
next
just
to you?
left, okay?
Okay. So now he comes back.
It's so funny. One of the first times I'm looking at Dagwood as you're reading it. I don't see any presenting or pressing her butt against him, but go ahead, keep going.
So he comes back and he's got bowls, he's got sandwiches, he's got snacks. He goes, it's too lonesome eating down there by myself. I'll eat this little snack in bed. He gets in, and now Blondie's up. She's up. She's done. Oh, look at this, more coffee.
Man. Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. And now he gets into bed and he goes, cold beans and a sandwich with crackers and peanut butter and celery and spaghetti. And now Blondie, she was ready to go. And instead she's got
Are her
this.
legs spread wide open and she's inviting him, Greg? Is that because I just want to know
You're reading into it.
I want to try to see what you see.
And she throws all the food at him. And she goes, the picnic grounds are in the park. And then in the final frame, she takes out this vibrator that's the size of a baseball. Oh, no, that's not in
They're
there.
going to take our coffee
That's
away.
not in there. All right, we've done it. Mike, we're outdoors doing our first outdoors Sunday papers.
All right, so full circle back to your opening comments, which were
Yeah.
they should be appreciative that we didn't take a week off. I'm wondering what the verdict is now.
No, I think it was
I
good.
certainly didn't deliver.
No. I thought this was good. I would
Oh.
tell you.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
I'm saying yeah too much, like I'm overcompensating. Yes, I think it was good. Was it our best? Probably not.
I wouldn't say
Probably
that.
not our best,
No.
but it's definitely not our
How
worst.
long are we clocking in at over here?
1 hour and 12 minutes, so we
It
gave
was
him
over
something.
an hour.
Yeah.
All right, let's
All
go
right.
see some fish.
So again, support our sponsors. If you have a chance, check out the Miracle Whips, The Art of Facts, which you can get Devil Ducks Records, but it's also on Spotify. Also, The Chug, it's on YouTube.com. The Chug Show, if you want to get into some home brewing with a sense of humor about it. And California Sun, it's a newsletter put together by Mike McFate. Just search California Sun in Google, and then you can sign up, and they'll send you a little email every day.
Maybe I'm going to be written up in the California. What is it? Sun?
California Sun.
You want to know why?
Why?
Last little Catalina story. So when I first got here, they give you a tour of the campgrounds. And so she brings us out to the water, and she's like, this pier, you blah, 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 blah. And then over here, there's more, like you'll see at night, especially after dinner, tons of manta rays. I think manna, the ones
Stingrays
that
or
swim.
manna? Yeah.
And then the stingrays on the bottom, a guitar fish. You'll see sand sharks. Anyway, she's giving us the lay of the land. And then she's like, and around that bend is another cove. And I'm like, are there any great rocks to jump off here? Because on the way in, I saw a lot. And I love doing that. I just did that up
Like
in the
cliff
Sierras.
diving.
Yeah, no, I don't. I should dive, but I don't. I also often don't know exactly how deep it is. And if your feet hit, that's fine. So I go, are there any great rocks to jump off? She's like, no. In fact, it's illegal to do that. Everywhere on Catalina, it's against the law. And first of all, I'm like, that means there's great rocks to
Right.
jump off of. But she goes, the harbor master will write you a ticket for attempted suicide. That's not a joke. And I asked her, is that a joke? Not a joke. That is what they will write you a ticket for. And I'm like, well, this isn't going to look good that I'll have 6 suicide attempts by Sunday. I'm like, won't that stay on my record? Like applying for a job, like, well, this guy has.
I think Allstate, the black guy from Allstate's going to call you up and go, Mike, we got to wrap up this term policy.
When's your term policy go to? Because are you going to Catalina again anytime soon? Because that island does not agree with you. 6 suicide attempts? There were 4 within an hour.
You know there's ferries twice a day. You can get off of there.
Also, what are you doing wrong? 6? We've never gotten someone to 6 before.
Yeah, you're such a loser. I can see why you're trying to kill yourself.
We've heard a lot of 2s and 3s. The typical cry for help. Your cries for help are really unending. Find some shallow water already.
Let's thank all the people that make the show possible.
Oh, where's that coffee?
At Midcoast Media, thank you guys, and thank you, Mike. Thank you, Campsite. What's the name of this campsite?
California Island Camps. And it's
California Island Camps.
Howland's Cove.
Yeah, check it out sometime.
It's
all right,
so great.
We'll catch you guys next time, and wrap it up. Put it in a rowboat or a catamaran.
Stick it in the hole so the boat doesn't sink.
Stick it in a little fire.
Soak up the water in the boat.
Start a fire with it.
And then your mom dies.
And your mom dies. All right, later.
Let us read from the book of David. Let us read from the book of Acts. Let us read from the book of matches, paragraphs of Acts. Let us read from the book of leeches. Let's read from the book of note. Let the stumps deliver speeches from the slits in their bloody throats. Let's read from the book of matches. Let's burn every word. Strike reverse on the book of matches and the birds overhead. Let's read from the book of needles, a braille message in the tracks. Let's read from the book of ages, never looking back. Let's read from the book of matches. Let's burn every word. Strike reverse on the book of matches and the birds overhead. Pages from the book of flames, while the boys in the bathroom scream. I'll be here sitting in the window, light them up on the fire escape. Let's read from the book of horrors. Let's read from the book of song. Poverty has